All right. The interviewer is Christian Wright. Today is September 22nd, 2020, and we're at the Camden Carroll Library at Morehead State University. If you could please introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh Grogan, senior here, run cross country and track for the university. That's about it.
Where are you from?
Paducah, Kentucky, so far western Kentucky, about 5 hours across the state.
And what's your major?
Communications and business.
And when did you first hear about the coronavirus? And when you heard about it, what did you think?
Heard about it in March, probably like most people. We were having a had track practice in the afternoon, and you kind of heard about it through the news a little bit, but it wasn't really a big deal. We just thought maybe we'd just go home for a week or two. Nothing crazy. Nobody thought it would blow up like it did. Like I said, didn't think much of it in the time, and then went off to spring break, and then they said we were going to have an extended spring break, and it turned out it was the whole semester. So definitely did not think it was going to be as big of a deal as it's turned into, for sure.
And how did that impact track last semester?
So we were supposed to have a season, obviously. We had indoor season January and February, and then our first outdoor meet got canceled in the beginning, like mid-March. Like when we started hearing about Corona right before we got sent home, we were supposed to have a meet that weekend, and that got canceled. And I was pretty bummed. That's like one of the biggest meets we go to, so I was bummed about it. But it's like, that might just be the only meet that gets canceled, and then the whole season ended up getting canceled. So it was a real drag. But at the end of the day, I mean, going home wasn't horrible, so no complaints really.
And what was it like leaving campus last semester?
It was weird. It just felt strange. Like it felt like you're ending the semester because I live in the dorm, so we had to move everything out. It was mid-March. It felt like a really shortened semester, but obviously we still had classes online, and it was just weird. It was kind of surreal. It just didn't feel right,
And how did transition to those online classes impact school for you?
I'm a big in-person guy. I'm communications, obviously, so I do a lot of speeches and speak in front of people. So I've never been a big fan of online classes. I didn't take them very often early college, but as I've gotten older, I've had to take them for a few different courses, and I didn't really like it. Online courses, you can definitely get away with just it being a lot easier. And I love easier things, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I like learning and I like being in the classroom. So I really didn't like being online, especially being at home. Like I said, being home wasn't bad, and I have a great family, a great home life, but I would rather been here at Morehead, with the team, with my friends on campus.
And how did that transition online affect communication and your classes?
I don't know. It was weird. I usually meet with my student advisor. Had to do that over FaceTime. Only one of my none of my classes were over Zoom. It was all kind of on your own. Everything was due at midnight on Sundays usually, and a lot of discussion boards. You guys know how that goes. And like I said, I didn't really enjoy it, but it is what it is. You gotta power through. You gotta push through, and I was able to get my classes knocked out, but it definitely wasn't as enjoyable as usual semesters are.
And what was daily life kind of like during the beginning of the pandemic versus now?
Like you talking about at home and then being here, or more just being home and just kind of
like when we left for March.
Yeah.
And then after, I guess you given your thoughts on that, how living just your general day-to-day now is kind of affected by COVID?
Honestly, I remember right when I went home, I was pretty fearful of the virus. Was like, man, this is legit. I got really sick in March. I don't even know if I had it, but I'm pretty sure I did. And after I was, got healed up and wasn't sick anymore, still had to ran every morning, did school, hung out with the family, but stayed home a lot, and it kind of just got monotonous. Didn't really enjoy it. I believe as human beings, we're made to be in relation with other people. And don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my family, but I didn't go out of my way to reach out to any teammates or friends. And I kind of got low-key depressed a little bit because I wasn't taking that extra step to see how my friends were doing, to see how my teammates were doing. And then fast forward to where we're at now. I'm not really fearful of it anymore. I'll wear a mask inside, obviously, because we have to, but don't get me wrong, the virus is legit and it's real and it's affected people, but I'm not going to let that affect my day-to-day life, what I go out and do, and be fearful of it. I'm still going to live my life. And so I would say my mindset has really changed a lot from March to now regarding the whole pandemic.
And you said you were still running when you went home. Did you see a lot of other people out running that maybe you hadn't seen before?
Yeah, actually, that's funny you asked that. I saw there was this one old man that lives down the street from my house, and I'd never seen him run in my life. And it was funny because I'd see him like every morning, and I would talk to him sometimes in passing. You could tell he was starting to run just because like they encourage people to get out and exercise during quarantine. It was just funny because he was like looked like straight from the 80s, had his beer belly, had the hiked up white tube socks, headband. He had like a gray afro, just old guy. Had like a cut-off shirt. It was just hilarious because he was just on the struggle bus every time I'd see him. But it was just funny because he's like, yeah, I just picked up running because I'm trying to run this virus off, trying not to get it. And they're saying we should run and exercise. So I got nothing to do, so I'm just going to run every morning. So that was pretty funny, something I didn't really realize, Obviously, when I've seen that guy who wasn't home during the pandemic, so that was pretty funny.
How has the pandemic changed how you personally use technology?
It hasn't really changed much. I've always been I don't want to say I've been anti-technology. I obviously have an iPhone, I have a laptop, but I try to stay off them as much as I can. I obviously use my phone for communications. I'd rather talk on the phone than text, and I actually have no classes on Zoom. They're all on my own online, so it's kind of do your work as you please on your own time kind of thing. And so it hasn't really changed much for me. Some organizations I'm in on campus, we obviously have to use Zoom instead of meeting up. That's changed, obviously, but like I said, like educational-wise, school-wise, it hasn't really changed much. I just feel like I have a lot of extra time on my hands doing school on my own opposed to having to rush to class every day on top of practice. It feels like we have a lot of extra time, which I'm not complaining about that. It's been nice to kind of be able to chill a little bit because in past semesters as an athlete, I feel like I'm always going from one thing to the next and never able to sit down and just like have time to myself. So that's been kind of nice, positive. So
whole semester feels like a sprint rather than a nice little
Exactly.
And how do you feel about the rules that the universities implemented this semester?
I think they're actually really good. Like I said, I feel like most people aren't a big fan of the mask, but I would agree with it. Inside, you should wear one, and I really like how outside you don't have to wear one. My sister, she actually goes to Morehead State, and they're making them wear them 24/7 outside, and I really disagree with that. Like, I like that, they're encouraging you to wear them outside if you can't social distance, but me personally, I make sure I'm social distancing outside, and I'm not going to wear one outside. So I'm really glad they're doing that, and, you got to do what you got to do to respect other people's health and respect your own, and so I think they're doing the right thing for sure. So.
And how's COVID affected you personally?
Personally, it's maybe realized how I guess how much we take for granted, like life in general, how we take for granted just our daily life, what we do. The little things in life, little things like being able to hug people, being able to go out with people, and not saying that you can't do that now. There's obviously restrictions, but just the little things in life, like being able to dab people up, shake people's hands, that's important. I grew up in a family that were big on, looking people in the eye, shaking people as you meet them, and some people are scared to do that now, and it's different. And I'll be honest with you, I really don't like when people say this is the new normal because it's not normal. I'm just waiting for it to get back to normal. I'm ready for it to get back to normal. So don't go out there saying it's the new normal because it's not. It's not normal. But I'm encouraged with what the university is doing, and I believe they're doing the right things, and we'll get back to normal maybe next semester and in the future. So.
And is there anything else you'd like to add or talk about?
No. Sorry, man.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, for sure, man.